Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to GameStar TV for the Blizzard ANZ HGC qualifiers. It is the Thursday night playoffs. These are currently the top 8 teams in the region. If you have just joined us, we're featuring Darksided tonight. They have been the first organization to join the Heroes of the Storm scene for an extremely long time, certainly since Heroes 2.0 and certainly since GameStar has been involved. And I know that there are a few other orgs out there that have got their scouting caps on, so all everybody has to do is play well, act professional, and then the rest will take care of itself. Darksided pick up the first map over No Worries, but we're going to jump straight into game number 2. But we are giving away the bundles tonight as well as the Darksided mousepad. So !GS HOTS into the Twitch chat if you haven't done so already. And I've just been told that if a person from New Zealand actually wins the Darksided mousepad, we're going to have to compensate with a $20 Steam voucher instead, because apparently the mousepad only ships to Australia. So go Aussies, get that mousepad. !GS HOTS in the Twitch chat now. So back over to Skimmy and Vandy for game number 2 of Darksided versus No Worries.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kev Fox, you might get your perks when it comes to mousepads, but we get our perks when it comes to rugby. But let's not talk about rugby. Let's talk about Heroes of the Storm, because that's the sport that we're currently watching, Bandy. Dragon Shire is the map, a map that I have not seen in such a long time. My personal favorite. If you know me, you know I love this one. And this is No Worries choice for the map.
Cool story, Skimmy. Maybe needs less dragons? Nah, we're all about the dragons. I also miss this map so much. The map rotations have shown no love to Dragon Shire, but it is actually, I think, also one of ANZ's, our scenes, one of our favourite maps. Because in the good old days, as we like to refer to, we saw this map being picked a lot.
And actually, just want to correct myself. I tell a lie. It was Darksided going for Dragon Shire, first pick in favour of No Worries. But yeah, a map which, well, I say it requires a lot more coordination than the others in the current map pool. It's a hybrid between likes of Cursed Hollow and Inferno Shrines, where you're looking to keep that pressure on those shrines to some degree, but it relies on communication, it relies on control, and right now it relies on a ban. No Worries down to 5 seconds, and the Diva, the respectable MVP Diva, is taken away from Vicarek.
Once again. Well, after they see what Vicarik's Diva brings, and they think that this is going to be a map where, once again, she can zone them off, she can do a lot of control in that regards, they don't want to deal with that. So, exactly, Nomiya did the same. After versing it, banned. We're not going to see poor little Diva this time around, and hovering over a Falstad on the side of Darksided, which makes me then feel, will they take the Dahaka if they're doing a ban like this?
Well, that's it, Vandy. I mean, what makes them so scared of Dahaka on Infernal Shrines, but means they're quite comfortable versing it on the likes of Dragon Shire? That's why I'm a bit confused. But, you know, this is arguably, if not the best map for Dahaka, where you can just burrow from shrine to shrine and instantly convert those team fights, much the same as an Abathur. But Malfurion is going to be the lock-in choice. Not going to opt for that. Dahaka or the Anubrak, they want to guarantee the strongest support in the game on the current patch.
Correct, indeed, Skimmy. And I'm going to be very surprised if we don't see that Dahaka, because everything is indicating, especially with Malfurion then taken off. We do know how much Darkseid do favour that Malfurion for moves. Malfurion is one of those tier S plus supports at the moment as we've gone through, and that's why even Blizzard noticed with that PTR addressed to sort of take a bit of that power out of his hands. And there is that Dahaka, followed by an Uther. So what do we read into that? I'm thinking, once again, they're going to go with getting a pick, or Uther will now be the one to set them up if he goes Divine Storm.
Well, that's a very interesting point that you bring up. I mean, it's almost a mind game to say, we ban away Falstad, now what do you choose? And you've got so many good tier 1 options to consider. Mouth being locked in. I mean, the gamble paid off. They do get the Dahaka, and as you touch on, Uther is going to be the pairing with that, which compares so nicely up against a dive comp, but also so well to Empower. Now, we didn't see the empowering as nicely or as cleanly as we've seen in the past, but we'll have to see how in Darksided hands they can utilize and amplify it.
Let's see exactly what they do. So with Uther, it's exactly about that. Whether he can empower a dive such as Greymane, will we be seeing Greymane picked up? I'm wondering. Anubrak Li Ming like that. Always when we see that Anubrak Li Ming is quite smart, because Li Ming gets countered by Anubrak. So by picking them together, it's removing one of the biggest counters, I think, to Li Ming available.
Well, I mean,
he is the anti-mage.
Well, I was just going to say, and as well, if you touch upon it, by having Anubrak, potentially if he does go Cocoon, he cocoons the Uther, and they just pick a target and they blow that target up with the Li Ming. So have to see how well versed they are with a composition like this and see how Darksiders decide to respond with this. If they opt for a double support, if they're quite confident just to out-skirmish them with the threat of a Nubrak. But they are now currently banning. And, well, I mean, they've got a few options to consider. Do they decide to ban away another tank, or do they focus more on the carries, be it the Greymane?
If they ban, I don't think they're going to ban Greymane. They want to leave Greymane open for themselves to pick up. But what I think they want to now ban, so they've got the Inubreath, they've got the Li Ming, they've got the Malfurion. It's going to be about getting more damage, as you said. Once a Inubreath cocoons out a target, they then need to just blow up someone before the cocoon expires.
And I mean, that would actually really foster what you're saying about them wanting to pick up the Greymane, because they banned away ETC, and ETC loves to get into your front line, loves to actually dive into your back line for that matter as well, looking for the big mosh pits, and it puts a lot of threat on you having to be able to pick heroes that can interrupt it. Yes, both Tahak and Uther can, but if you have to utilize your stuns for the threat of a mosh pit, then you're constantly on edge. Would have been curious if they'd gone for a Zeratul ban, but they decide with ETC in the end. But Chromie, respecting Hacky, so both the MVP nominations, somebody would have told me that No Worries have done their homework.
I mean, good on No Worries. They are definitely learning, definitely removing like the highest threats that they've seen tonight, and especially picks that can work on this map. Definitely Chromie wouldn't rule her out on this map. Same with Diva. Arthas and Nazebo. Now, this is interesting. I was not going to expect this from Darksided. Arthas, yes. Nazebo, not sure, because he can take a bit of time to get underway, but Darksiders show me that they are capable of knowing the strengths and weaknesses of each hero that they pick and knowing the power spikes that come with them.
Well, let's try and break this down a little bit. I mean, knowing that they're going up against the Nubrak and knowing that they're going up against the Li Ming. I mean, Nazebo deciding if he goes for Superstition or Ice Block can deal quite nicely with Li Ming. And Nubrak, if he does have the threat of the Cocoon on Uther, both Dahaka and Arthas are relatively tanky that they can survive through that damage. It would suggest to me now that they would definitely want to pick up the Greymane themselves for the Curse Bullet to say, hey, you think you can tank up, you think you're safe, we can blast you during that small window where the Cocoon is active.
That's correct, Skimmy. With that Curse Bullet, it can be such a great tool for then allowing them to get a pick. It's all going to be about that for No Worries. That's exactly how they're drafting, and we do see that Greymane. And even a Leoric for further. That's like
further tank shredding. Yeah, absolutely. Leoric will be that solo lane to go up against Dahaka, and she had a pretty good time against the Dahaka. Not going to lose that lane too hard, but Greymane, I mean, they had to pick it, surely. Otherwise, I felt they'd have lost that draft far too hard, because you'd imagine that Darksiders themselves would have picked it up otherwise.
Correct. If left to the wire, I believe Darksiders would have taken Greymane for their side. It would have fit quite nicely in with their composition. I wonder if they want to go with the Mage, or if they want to pick up something like a Valor this time. I'm just trying to think. Falstad was taken off, so that's why I'm thinking it could be the Valor.
Wow.
They go for the Jaina. It was working quite well for them, so they want to try it out again. Give themselves
so they're going to adapt it actually with double Frost Presence, if you think about it, Vandy. Arthas and Jaina coming together, dropping all the frozen powers, and if I've watched my movies, then, let it go.
Not that movie, hopefully. That's for kids, Skimmy. That's all I'm
you can never grow up too old, mate.
No, but that's exactly it. The double Frost Presence, double crowd control, and really the kite. That's going to be really detrimental towards Greymane, towards anyone trying to get in close, essentially, and dive their backline.
So it seems to be, if we're putting these two side by side, it seems to be that Darkseid are all about the control. We want to have the ability to manipulate the fight in our manner, right? So Arthas and Jaina allowing Nazebo to do so much work, and you're stuck in zombie walls or whatever else he throws at you. But then on the flip side of it, it seems to be that No Worries are all about the control. A lot of this seems to be relying on both Leica and Moondruid to execute with the Twilight Dream and with the Cocoon to find those windows to blow somebody up. So if this team is on the same page, we could be going to game number 3, Vandy. Here we are, playoffs, week number 2, currently 1-0 to Darksided. And let's introduce their lineup for this game. Demise on Nazebo, Hacky once again on Jaina, Moops on Uther, Vikrak on Tahaka, and Booty is on Arthas.
And on the red side, we have Team No Worries, Jesmez on Leoric, Ultivian on Li Ming, Moondruid playing Malfurion, Tommy on Greymane, and Leica on Anubarak.
I am so excited for this game, Vandy. I love this map. It's all about control, and it really can sort of expose the cracks in your communication and your teamwork. So if you play poorly on this map, in my opinion, then there are a few things that you guys need to work on. But as always, it is that level 1 engagement, so let's touch on those talents.
Exactly right. So Force Armor being taken up by Li Ming, definitely worrying about that Nazebo, Jaina, and we're seeing Shando's Clarity being picked up by Malfurion to keep Li Ming's mana bar topped up. Essentially, every time he's got it, he can innovate and keep that poke going.
That's going to be a big talking point to see how much work Altivian can do. I know Altivian loves to play this hero, and I've versed it many a times in the Hero League, and I tell you what, that is the reason I am currently stuck in Diamond 3, but let's not talk about my woes in the Hero League and how poorly I am as a player. Let's talk about this. Straight away, for the rotations, they've gone for Spider build. Actually, sorry, no, Toad build again. Very much the same as last game. They know they want to collapse. They know they want to execute a kill on that Cocoon. And it did a lot of work last game.
Oh, Nazebo being picked up there. No Toads are going to be thrown out there. One could argue Toad build is the safer build to go. It's more consistent because something still happens even if you don't land it. The Toads will go, they can collide with minions. It's not a total waste. If you miss spiders, nothing happens. The pot just breaks and you're kind of like, oh, empty dreams with that cooldown.
Empty dreams, broken vase, and an upset grandma. But there they go. Double kill. The root is there. Beautiful stuff. Can they collapse even further? Yes, they can. And no worries, off to a fine finishing start.
They're off to a flying start. I love this. This is No Worries Awaken. They are onto exactly what Darkseid were bringing. They're bringing it onto them. This is how I anticipated them to play last game.
The same combo every single time between the Impale and the Root. Both Moondruid and Lyca have got that synergy and they are making it work for them. Tommy actually getting quite chunked out there in the V-bush between mid and bot. That does allow now, with those rotations, No Worries to find themselves with a double Shrine capture. The question is now, can they go for the Dragon Cap itself?
Exactly. Now that they've got the Shrines, it's about now forcing the rotations. If they can get a pick, it's basically a done deal to get that first Dragonite. They just need to be patient. Continue doing what they're doing. Continue roaming, getting those picks, rolling with that crowd control train.
And it seems to be the case of Darkseid getting a little bit angsty, saying we need to try and take out Tommy from this equation. He's been doing a lot of work. Tommy has been biting a lot of this damage, but he still remains healthy. He has gone for the well tap, nowhere near mouth for the heal. But Darkseid now putting up a little bit of resistance in this bot lane. They've got a 3v3 poking out here. Could be a case of who can overlap the CC better.
Exactly right. They're trying to neutralize there. As you said, Jesma's having a field day against Vikarak. That's Leoric. He is the tank killer. We're getting a pause by Darkseid, and perhaps Lag once again being called out.
Yeah, Lag has been called out once again, and, you know, this is typical ANZ where, you know, I think, and this is probably another reason that New Zealand's better. I mean, we have fibre internet here whilst you guys are waiting for internet to come over in Australia.
Oh, way to rub it in, but I'm all right. I've got my NBN, thankfully, so I've left a little bit of the clip life behind me. I want to get some of that sweet, sweet New Zealand internet, though, Skimmy. You're right.
Oh, well, you know, Hacky is just playing with my heart right now. He is pausing, unpausing, pausing, and, well, I tell you what, that's called a misclick if I've ever seen it.
Hacky misclick. Oh, dear. Well, while we are waiting for Hacky to sort out what he's doing with his butterfingers over there, we can just dive a little bit more into the talents. I am seeing Triumvirate being taken up by Ming, indicating that we're going to see an Orb build coming out with her, and that's going to be a poke-centric build.
Yeah, so looking, rather than to try and execute with the Grey Mane, stick back from the back line, actually get that poke down, so especially when Cocoon has been utilised, that somebody is already so low that they can just blow them up. So I like that. Let's see how Altivian decides to play it, and you can see the damage that is coming across. Once again, the Impale, followed up by the Entangling Roots, is negated by the Zombie Walls, so ensuring that if anybody did decide to collapse on it, they would bite off a lot of damage for their efforts. But still, the fight continues in the bot lane. That is really where our focus is, Vandy. 3v3 is the situation, but both teams hustling around this.
Correct, and Nazebo has also opted for Big Voodoo, meaning that he's opted to go more of a durability field instead of putting everything into those Toads. So essentially, just making sure that he can be the tankiest, and perhaps we're going to see Superstition being taken up by him to really negate what the Ming's poke is going to do.
Yeah, I have to wonder and see how he decides to do it, but I mean, let's talk about these rotations right now. Demise is being rotating all the time to the bot lane, looking for those fights, whereas Tommy seems to be putting a lot of pressure in his top lane, where Jesmus, we thought he was quite comfortable, so interesting to see he's opted for that. They did need a little bit of help in bot lane. They have now re-established that control, No Worries. And level 4, I mean, let's look at this for Dahaka. He's gone for Hero Stalker, not one that we typically see, but this suggests to me that he's feeling very comfortable in terms of winning those fights.
that's really it, isn't it? When you're getting that comfortable to take talents like this, it just indicates a lot about how you're playing, what your mentality is as well.
I mean, they've been dominating tonight, to say it lightly, so he's probably thinking, doesn't matter if we've lost 2 kills in the early game, doesn't matter if this game is a lot closer. This is our map pick. We know what we like to do. And, you know, we've finally got a Dahaka pick, which we banned away, but this is the map to pick it out on. And I'm feeling extremely comfortable to make it work.
That's right. It's all going to be about those takedowns, all going to be about the brawling happening around these shrines to activate the Guardian. The Dragon Knight, sorry.
Back to the bot lane once again as we continue the 3v3 commentary. And Moops is going to come into it. Oh, Vikrak actually burrows in. It's a 5-man squad from Darkside. They're trying to make something happen here. They've got Anxi. They have given up with the patient play. They want to force the fights. They don't like this slow play. They want to get those kills, but it doesn't matter. And Like actually might get a turnaround here, looking for Haki. There is no route because the Howling Blast is beautifully picked there from Booty, ensuring that the chase cannot come out here from no worries. It does allow Leoric to pick up this entire wave for free and get them a slight XP advantage.
It's about that. Both teams have notably been keeping up with each other in terms of that experience. The race for 10 is definitely on. But it doesn't seem like one team's going to have an advantage over the other, except now a sneaky that has been picked up by Tommy.
And that's the punishment for not being able to get that kill in the bot lane. When they all collapsed towards it, they gave up so much free pressure in the top lane. They then allowed the rotate and the retaliation, if you will, from No Race to come across. Tommy pretty much blessed for all his control there in the mid lane, and finally they pick up a Dragon. How they utilize this is what I have to see. He's going to go for the towers and most likely then respond by going to the bot lane as well.
That's correct. He's just working on that front wall, and I think he'll just try to migrate towards his team. But look at that, a sneaky drag.
Ooh.
Now Tommy needs to get the heck out of there.
Oh, he just dodged the blizzard as well as the zombie wall. He would have been a dead man sitting, however, if that had all connected. But this puts him into an interesting situation, Vandy. No worries, they're pretty overextended here in the bot lane. The entanglement already comes out, stun across onto Moondred, and that allows Haki just to pop on for free. The combo between all spells considered is just too much. Ultivian looking for the 1v1. He can't get a ring of frost onto 2 people. Cocoon is there. Like you're expending the very last inches of his mana pool. It does not matter. And just like that, we are even Stevens when it comes to the kill chart.
That is an overstay by No Worries, and they knew it. They were caught with their pants down, to say the least. And really, Ultivian just wanting that kill, wanting the reset on Haki. He should have cancelled the disintegrate and gotten the heck out of there.
Yeah,
because he just paid the price.
I mean, absolutely. And you have to admit, Haki was probably sitting there rubbing his hands together like Monty Burns on Simpsons thinking, excellent.
You're playing right into my Ring of Frost. Exactly right. I couldn't have used a better meme, Skimmy. You are the meme lord tonight. You're on fire.
Well, you know, I'm not on fire. It's not the Fire and Ice series, but we do have a lot of ice characters in this game for the side of Darksided, and they are definitely popping off right now. Booty and Haki putting in work, and it seems to be the case of we can re-establish our lead in this game. This is our map. Yeah, we can play the slower game if we need to. We just need to have a little bit more time to set things up, and set things up they will. 25 seconds on those next shrines, and DK is all up for contention once again.
And that is also, the strength of Greymane as well. Being able to take the Merc camps pretty much unassisted. That is one of Greymane's highlights as well. Just another strength he can really add to the team, whereas it took 2 members. Oh, but I'm going to cut myself off because Vikrak doing some cheeky shenanigans, dragging Jesmus towards the outer fortification.
Well, whilst you talk about that, Vandy, action is happening in the bot lane as well. They're going to go and contest on for these giants. Actually, Demise just walking on in for free. The Cocoon went onto Haki. And Leica has to sacrifice that. The pressure there. Vikrak actually now burrowing in like the Ferrari, like the Lamborghini. Hi. Coming on in with the drag, saying, see you later, Malfurion. Once again, has not been a single opportunity for No Worries to execute this team comp that we talked about so highly. Every single time, Darkside have just said, we're playing our game, not yours.
I really liked that engagement on the side of Darksided. It was so well done. Moon Druid just finding nowhere to turn. He saw the wall of zombies. He tried to dodge. He did dodge the Howling Blast, but then after that, he was just isolated and taken out.
Oh, Curse Bullet came across then, and Tommy's actually got no mana left. It didn't even connect. Entombment would have been good, however, but there's nobody else there to follow up. No Ultivian and no Twilight Dream. Moondred walking on in, but he's going to walk into his team member getting smashed on through with the Ring of Frost. Twilight Dream coming across now, but it's negated by the Divine Shield. Vikrak boosting on in now. Can he find a drag target? They're going for Ultivian. He's still running. Look at that man run. He is swarming. He is dark-sided swarming if you've ever seen it. And Demise now finally fixing up that quest. He's got the 5 toads. He has got the power spike. And they utilize that level 13 power spike, Vandy.
That is a huge power spike that he has achieved for himself, and really it's going to start to show because we're seeing members of No Worries getting chunked. Ultiven's not getting a lot of value out of his arcane orbs either. He's not getting poked before they fight. This is often, I think this is why Li Ming is also come into a bit of a sticky situation with her standing. She's just not as good as she used to be. A lot of people know how to play around her. And if you do go this orb build and you're not landing them, you can feel quite useless. It's almost like that Chromie that doesn't quite hit anything. You don't feel the value coming out.
There we go, this is the collapse. This might be the final chance we get to see if they can do it. They got the cocoon on towards Booty. They went for the Cursed Bloodhound as well, so almost a bit of a misplay there, but they try to execute the target with the Burrow from Laker. They can't get it. The turnaround from Darkside is just far too strong. Anubrak gone. The team split. No Worries, left with just a Skeleton King in the top lane. And, well, he doesn't mind going to the grave. He wants to be at the grave to utilize that Wraith Walk, but it's not going to be the case here. He's going to go for the 1v1. The rest of Darksided are still in mid lane pushing for free. And it's all up to Vikrak now to utilize his presence.
It really, really is. I mean, where Leoric sort of is feeling the pressure is he did not manage to land Drain Herb. Vikrak playing it quite nicely, borrowing every chance he gets. But that doesn't matter. The stall was enough. The Death Knight has been picked up by Darksided. And now, if you were No Worries, I'd start to be feeling a bit of the heat now.
Yeah, I'd be feeling pretty hot under the collar files them right now. I mean, they've had a few opportunities where they can set up on their terms and utilize what we discussed, but it hasn't worked. And Darksided they've been ready to go for it. I mean, they're level 16 now, Vandy. This is the power spike they're looking for. The Burrow Charge is going to come in once again from Vikrak, looking for that target. Burrow Charge is even better from Leica to make sure he gets out of harm's way. Demise cops a lot of damage, but those toads are definitely going to add to the siege potential that this Dragon Knight can expend.
A talent down is really starting to hurt. No Worries, we can see it now. They are struggling to try and get enough damage to take down not only the Dragon Knight, but also to take down members of Darksided. They're just struggling here with No Worries. Their keep is falling rapidly.
The keep is gone. There is no chance of defending that one because they left Leoric in the top lane. They are trying to equal out this level 16 deficit. And they were basically sitting ducks. I mean, they couldn't push mid because mid was already so pushed against them. The best chance they had was to put up a meager defense in the bot lane and give up that keep for free. Their giants have now spawned. Do Darksided decide to respond? They decide to actually contest Jesmus in this top lane and pick up their own. So not going to go for the aggressive invade, but does give a little bit of time now for Darksided to try and execute this 2-level lead.
Exactly. Catch their breath, reset the playing field. Yes, one of our keeps is gone, but it's not the be-all, end-all. There's still no okay position. Just they need to get 16 ASAP, and they have definitely prioritized that.
I'd love to see a team fight sway in their favor. As soon as that level 16 clock is attached, make sure you can force a fight on your terms. I mean, we've seen it a few times, but they have not been able to achieve it. I mean, we saw the first one, probably the best chance they had was right at that Dragon Shire shrine capture itself, where they cursed Bullet and then webbed the same target onto Arthas, which, I mean, it's ideal, but not when that is your kill target. They then switched. The Burrow Charge was good, but it just did not have the follow-up damage to execute thereafter. So, I mean, is it a case of play itself or the players? I mean, it has to come down to a few factors. We'll have to see, but right now, Darksided, the call is being made. All attention to the top lane. Night Camp is there. All members are there. They are looking to break these walls down.
Indeed. I mean, what I'm seeing out of No Worries is that the comms need to be a little bit clearer, because otherwise they're going to have more situations like, what is going on here with poor Leica? He could not even...
Oh no, he is caught by the Howling Blast. He couldn't burrow away. No cleanse and no chance.
A little Anubrak bumping his head like, ow, and then he's just paid the price for it with his death. Poor little bug. But exactly that, Skinny. Like, they just cannot afford these picks anymore. It's past that stage. They need to be the one making these picks. Put some pressure on Vikrak. They've got the right idea now.
Here it is. This is the chance. They're looking for Vikrak. Can they get him before he utilizes that Brush Stalker? He is low. He is down to 430 health. He is getting away. Ultimate misses the second web of magic missiles. The orb goes away. Vikrak is literally 1v4'd, and that's because he has a Pentac car.
He is zooming away. Did you see the Jukes as well? Everyone was predicting where he was going to go. He was just like, nah, I'm not having any of that. I'm coming out of this alive, and I feel so bad for No Worries because I could tell how much they wanted that kill as well. They needed that kill.
They really did need that kill because look what happened. Vikrak, after not having to use the Brush Stalker, just Brush Stalker straight back in, says, cool, that's my lane, that's my shrine. Now you guys as a 5-man unit need to defend mid, and you know, he will not have that Brush Stalker, but he has so much movement speed, it's ridiculous. He can rotate at a moment's notice. And a moment's notice is what's going to happen here. Entangling Root and the Entomb on towards Booty. Maybe that's not the right target to go for, but there goes the Divine Shield on towards Ufa, actually so known as Zebo, and it is Cocoon on Ufa. They've executed, they've got offense this time. Can No Worries find more? They are so low. Leica is down towards, you know, a fifth of his health. He's at 700 health. Here comes Vikrak, here comes the car. The drag attempt is good. The Wraithfall is too late, however. No Worries. I mean, they're up against the wall. It's level 20 now for Darksided. The window has passed. Their damage is done. The dragon is being picked up by Haki all the while. But Leica is still looking for it. This is an extended team fight, which could work in their favor potentially. Nazebo goes down. Double kill onto Ufa. Ultimin got no mana left. He's looking for Vikrak. Mal drops to the Haki. Big Haki in the dragon. He can play 2 dragons, Chromie and this one. And it's Ultivian forced to go for the well-tapped Greymane. I don't know what he was doing in the 1v3 situation. But is Haki going for the keep? It's only 16 minutes in. He's looking for the core, Vendy.
Oh, I think they'll pressure it. They do have quite a healthy Death Knight. There's no reason why they can't. And Haki's definitely not afraid to get in there. They need to just bail out their team member in Cocoon. And this is going to be it. This is going to be the fight around core. It's dropping rapidly, Skimmy.
Core is definitely dropping rapidly. Moops still has the passive to come back from the dead. I mean, this has to go down. Core's on 5%. There is no chance for this to stay alive. Leeming drops in the end. 2-0 on the night, back to back. Darkside are proving far too strong in week 2 of playoffs.
Exactly. And that Nazebo build I just wanted to touch on, it definitely paid off with Vile Infection being completed. We're seeing that power spike going on with Big Voodoo as well. Even when Ultivian turned in that last team fight, got an orb, max distance onto Demise, he was so tanky. He still lived through it. No resets for Ultivian. That could have been a turning point in that last fight there, but no, wasn't meant to be. And in talking about MVPs, Skimmy, I think there were a couple. I definitely had my eye on Demise that game, just with his Nazebo, with his walls, with the zoning coming out, and also Booty's Arthas as well, doing so much, getting the Howling Blast accounted.
Yeah, I had to agree, Van. I don't think this one is as clear-cut as the last few games have been. It's a lot more contenders to this MVP nomination. Big shouts, obviously, to Demise, to doing so much across both Siege and hero damage. Vikrak also, once again, for just locking up so much time and being such a pest. We've seen the pick being banned away so many times, but this time seemed to Hawk actually picked by Darksided. Quite refreshing, and sort of puts into perspective why they don't want to verse up against it. But Booty, I mean, I'm going to leave this one down to you. I think it's a tie between those 3 personally, but you can make the call this time.
Oh, I can make the call. All right. Well, now that the pressure's on me, I think I have to give it to Demise. He was just that kind of in the background presence, just really getting things done as Nazebo. And that Toad build was definitely the right call. He was just playing it so well and managing to complete Vile Infection as well on 20. Sometimes we don't even see it. It's just keeping the focus in mind, having time to do your stacks. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, well played, Demise. Second MVP nomination for the evening.
Second MVP nomination for Demise on the night. Darksided proving far too strong in week 2 of the playoffs. But that does it for us, guys. For now, stick with us. We will have more Games to Hots coming for you on Tuesday. But for the meantime, back to Kitbox.
Thank you very much, Skimmy and Vandy, for an absolutely amazing night of casting. We followed Darksided because tonight is a little bit of a special occasion. We're welcoming the first org into the hot scene for an extremely long time. And as we had mentioned before, there are other orgs sniffing around with their scouting hats on. So stay tuned. There may be even a few more coming your way. Well, we can only hope. Anyway, if you haven't done so already, !GS Hots into the Twitch chat, because we do have, thanks to Blizzard ANZ, loot chest keys to give away. We've got one more of those, and in each of those chest keys, you get 12 loot chests, so that's not too bad. And we're also giving away a Dark-Sided mousepad, open only to the residents of Australia. If a Kiwi actually manages to snag up that mousepad, we're going to compensate with a $20 Steam voucher instead. So what our producer is going to be doing now is rattling that proverbial cage page, and there will be 2 names drawn in the Twitch chat. Remember, this is only open to followers of the channel. So it looks like Shardstorm has actually won themselves one of those chest key bundles. So congratulations. And now this next name that's going to be drawn is for the Dark-Sided Mousepad. So this is the one you want. This is the one you want. I hear Darkside have pretty good swag. And Superstition. Now, Superstition's already won one tonight. Is that eligible? I'm just going to get a confirmation from our producer. I can hear him thinking. The clocks are ticking in his head. No, we're going to redraw. We're going to redraw. Superstition's already won a bundle tonight. So the next name is actually going to be the victor of the old Mellets again, who was actually not following because tonight, but followed after not winning the first draw. So learned the lesson, followed the channel, and now is the recipient of a Dark-Sided Mousepad. Congratulations to everybody who won swag tonight. Congratulations to all of the teams who played tonight, and congratulations to the top 4 who auto-qualified for next week. That is Dark-Sided, No Worries, Trump Sports, and Ethereal. If you like your esports, we've got Injustar, I believe, on this Sunday coming up. So that is the FGC tournament. And also on Tuesday nights, we have the qualifiers, for the Heroes of the Storm. So if you're thinking that, hey, I have a team that I want to enter in that app, well, you can do so over at www.gamestar.com. There's all the rules and all the links you need to get your team involved. There's a lot of players looking for teams as well. So jump into the Discord, jump into the Facebook channel, and get your name out there. It's good fun. You don't have to play against the top teams. The skill gap is very, very small. So it's good fun all around. But that is it from us, ladies and gentlemen, here at GameStar. My name is Kit Fox. I've been your host for this evening. And on behalf of Producer Crisis, Play-by-Play Caster Skimmy, Analyst Vandy, and Admin Avexium, GG's, thanks for joining us, and good night.